Linguistics. Okay. So for the outline of this talk, first, I will talk about the generative AI or the LLM. I will explain why they can learn and master a language, and what would be the problem when we using generative AI like ChatGPT. What would be the problem that we might find, and then I will go on with the topic on using ChatGPT in Corpus Linguistics. First, I will explore whether we can use ChatGPT to do a basic task in Corpus Linguistics, and then I will show you how to use ChatGPT to create a corpus and to do annotation in a corpus. After that, I will talk about a corpus that is generated by AI and corpus that is generated by human, and we are going to see whether they are the same or they are different. And at the end, I think I will show you how to use custom GPT so that we can create a GPT that will be more suitable for any task that we want to do, whether in research or in any language task. Okay. So first, we will talk about generative AI, or actually the LLM or large language model, why they are capable of learning a language. From this slide, you can see that the top one is the normal text that we can read, but to have the machine understand this text, we have to tokenize the text first. And for each token that we input into the computer to learn this text, we do not input it as a text itself, but we transform it into a series of number that we call a vector, or in another word, people said it's word embedding. So for this kind of word, it will be represented as this series of number. And we have a model that we call deep learning. Actually, right now, the current model is called transformer. It is just a simple model that they let the model predict the next word based on previous word. Like in this this picture, when we see the word "so," we can predict that the next one is long, and when the model see so long, they know that the next word is "and," and when they see so long "and," they know that the next word is "thanks." So with this kind of simple model, we don't have to prepare anything. We just input the text, and the model will try to see the pattern or the relationship between words within the text by itself. And how is this going to be able to make the model to understand the language? Many people think that they can perform language tasks because they have read a lot of data. When they have a lot of data, they know statistical information about the language. So it's just a probability that they can produce the output more accurate because they know how to predict the next word from the previous word. And that is the basic idea of the model when they create this kind of model. But from another point of view of structural linguists, they have what we call distributional hypothesis. It's a hypothesis that talk about the word that tend to have similar meaning, they occur in a similar context. How do we know whether they have similar context? If we have a large corpus, or if we can collect all the data in a language, and we can look at its distribution, and we can see, for example, for this word, we can see its context. We can see whether what would co-occur with this keyword. And then we can do summarization of this co-occurrence. And with this kind of information, we can create a vector or a number that show the association between words in a language. And we know the idea of language from Su, right? Su talk about language as a system of sign. And in a language, a sign is composed of two things that cannot be separatable, is signifier and signifier. So in a language, we have word form, and we also have its concept or meaning. This kind of concept is what we perceive from the reality, and we conceive it, and we create a language to handle our understanding about the world. And in a system of the language, the value of each term or each sign is not independent by itself, but it's based solely on simultaneously present of the other sides. So from this kind of concept, we can see that when we teach the machine by using what we call word embedding or word vector here, we can see that for this word rate, it has a series of numbers. That these numbers show some relation or association between the word rate and the other words in the system. And if we collect a large amount of data, we can calculate this kind of word embedding, and this number will show that the word that tend to have similar meaning will have a series of number that is similar number too. So by doing this, we are not just have the machine learn the statistic of the word, but we represent word as a system of sign. And when the model learned our language, actually they don't have ability to perceive, conceive anything, but they have evidence from our language, and from that language, it reflects our competence in the language. What they try to do is to reverse engineer and create their own understanding based on the evidence that we present to the machine. So by this means, what they have learned is not only the statistic or the relation between words form only, but they learned about the content or the meaning or the concept carried in the language as well. That is why when we talk to any generative AI, if they have learned the language a lot, we can talk to that AI in any subject, and they can answer us anything that we can ask. Okay, that's the basic why the AI can learn and master the language. Now, when we use generative AI like ChatGPT, we tend to see that they have some kinds of problem. The first problem is about hallucination. I think this is the most well-known problem when we use any generative AI. Like in this example, when we ask them to write an article, we can see that even we ask them to give a reference on the paper site in this paper, they can do that. But when we check what actually here is not correct because the author is not the real author here, and the year is wrong. It should be 2006. And this one too. The real paper have only 2 authors, but they gave up 3 authors in this paper. And for this paper, it doesn't even exist. So it just make up something. So this the problem of hallucination. And sometimes when we ask them about some concept or ask them to explain anything, like in this example, I asked ChatGPT to explain the idea of first about context of situation. So they gave the answer and it looks fine. And then at the end, it says something like, first propose the context of situation composed of 3 main elements. Field of discourse, tenor of discourse, and mode of discourse. Okay. When if we know about this subject, then we can see that these 3 ideas are not from first, but is from holiday. So we ask the ChatGPT again, whether are you sure that first talk about these 3 concepts? Then ChatGPT know that they have made a mistake and correct itself that it is directly related to holiday, not first. So that's the first problem that people mostly talk about. But there is also another problem when we use generative AI, the problem of consistency. In this example, I gave ChatGPT the criteria to evaluate an essay. So I copy this criteria about scoring an essay. So these are the criteria, 10 points on introduction, 10 points on thesis, and the criteria to grade the score here. So ChatGPT read this criteria and they can understand what we are asked them to do. Then we give them the essay and they can provide the evaluation and the score for each section. Like in this example, they can give a comment and they can give a score. So everything looks okay. And we might think that it would be able to help us in doing this kind of job. But when we try to do this in different chat, like in this example, I gave them the same essay, but in different day, in 4 different chats. The score that they return for this essay is quite different. The first one is 48, the second one is 67, 46, and 55. So we can see that it's not quite consistent in analyzing the same task. But if we look at if we ask them to analyze 4 different essays in one chat, they can help us in seeing the difference on this essay. Like in this one, essay 1 and 2 is about the same quality, and essay 3 is below essay 1 and 2, and essay 4 is better than essay 1. And they can give the score that reflect this relative quality, but they cannot give consistent analysis for the same data. That would be a problem. And the third problem is about the recall. In this example, I asked ChatGPT to give me all the sense of the word keep. So they explain all the sense of the word keep as a verb and as a noun. And then I gave them some example and asked ChatGPT to analyze whether this example is belong to which sense. It seemed to be able to do that. But when I did the same thing for the second time, what I found is that the number of sense, even ChatGPT returned the same number of sense, but in details, the sense gave to me is different. Like in this one, you can see that what is in the blue color is the sense given in the first time, and this one is given at the second time. So we can see that they don't give all the sense. They don't have access to a dictionary or to a database that have all the answer and provide us all the answer. What ChatGPT did, they concern most about trying to give the answer that is relevant to our question. So we asked about giving all the sense. They try to think from from their understanding, not from any database, and they came up with something, and but it's not necessary to be a complete answer. So this is a problem that we may have to be aware when we use ChatGPT. Okay, now we talk about when we want to use ChatGPT as a basic tool. To do a word frequency is quite easy. So we upload a corpus and then we ask them to list top 100 words based on frequency and create result as a table containing word frequency and normalized frequency. They can do that. Behind the scene, they load a Python program to do this kind of analysis. And when we compare the result, is the list of the word is the same. The number of frequency is a little bit different, but it's normal because different tools can give different number of frequency. Now to do a concordance, I ask them to list a keyword and its context and specify the number of context as 40 words. And the first column should be the file name that contain this sample. So they can do that. And when we download the result and open it in an Excel, we can see the whole result here. To do the correlation, I asked them to list top 50 collocate with this word hard and then provide context 5 words on the left and the right and use log to rank the collocate. So they can do that. And the result is not quite the same when I use Ancon because what would be different is how they calculate the log likelihood. I think in Ancon they use two term log likelihood, but in ChatGPT in their code they just use a simple log likelihood calculation. To find the keyword is also possible. We just provide another corpus as a reference corpus. Here I upload the LOB corpus and ask them to compare Austin corpus with this reference corpus and use log likelihood to measure the degree of keenness. So they can do that, and they can also show the result and explain what they found in this result. And the result when compared with using keywords in Ancon is it looks similar. Okay. For the next topic, actually we can use ChatGPT to do a basic task, but it's not something that actually if we have a tool like Ancon or Lancaster toolbar, I think it would be easier to use this those tools to do those basic analysis because it's quite easy and it's easy to do that. We don't have to type any instruction, just upload the corpus and click the menu to do the analysis. But for another task like creating a corpus, like in this one, if we want to scrape data from a web, in this example, this a web from IMDb is a review of a movie. So I give ChatGPT this URL and I ask them that I want to scrape review from this page. So I want information, the review text, the title, and the rating. What they did is give me a Python code. So I have to copy this code and run the program. When I run the program, I got this kind of result. When I check with the web page itself, so it's collect data because this the first review. But in that page, they have an a button load more or more review that we can click and get more review. So I asked ChatGPT that there are more reviews, and I want them to implement the code that can click to more page to get all the reviews. So they revise the code and use another library. And so I copy the code. When I run this kind of code, I got an error. So I copy this error and ask ChatGPT why I got this result. So they analyze the error and suggest that it might occur because the page doesn't load, finish loading when the program click the next button. So the program should be adjusted to wait until the button is present and clickable. So they revise the program again. So I copy the program and run it again. And this is the result. And this is the last review that I got from this movie when I checked on the web. So this also the last review. So it's correct. Okay, that's one thing for scraping data from the web. For another task like converting existing data like XML file to plain text, that if we want to create a corpus, we can go to a journal and they have articles saved in XML format. So we can save those files. So I save those files and zip them and ask ChatGPT to unzip this file and look at the each article and extract only the title and the abstract from each file and save as a plain text. And when all the files are processed, zip those plain text for me to download. So they do all kind of things behind the scene, and then after finish, we can click on this and download the file. But when I look at the result, it cannot extract the data correctly, so I have to revise the instruction. So I tell them that the result is empty, and I look at the data and see that the title is under this tag and the abstract is under this tag. So I tell ChatGPT that to look for this text directly and extract text from these two fields, and no need to look at the structure of the data. So they do it again, but the result is still empty. So I asked them again, just look for those two tags and extract the data. Now they ignore everything, just look for these two tags and extract the data, and these are the data extract. So right now I can extract the title and the abstract, but we can see that the abstract is still contain some tag inside, like code Q and code here. So I asked ChatGPT, when extracting the data, remove other tags and comments. So they clean the data and this the final result. So by doing this, at the end, we can convert all the XML file into a plain text file. Okay, and another task when creating a corpus, we might want to creating a text by using ChatGPT. Like in this example, I show this example in Thai because in English it's quite easy. We can ask them to create anything or write anything. So in this example, I asked them to write in Thai a short story, and this short story should contain these 10 words. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11 words. So they came up with this short story. The bold here is the word that in the list that we want this short story to include this word. Another task, I asked them to create a reading text, a new reading text that is similar to the given one. So I upload a reading text to ChatGPT and ask them to create a new one that is in the reading level, in the same reading level, in the same style. So they produce a new text that look in the same style, that a story that someone is talking to someone. Okay, the next task is about annotation. In this example, I asked ChatGPT to do a fast speed tagging and tell ChatGPT that I want the result to be like this word and then slash and then power speed, word and slash and power speed. They can understand this, and I want them to use power speed from this project, Universal Dependency Project. In this project, they have this kind of power speed, number, apposition, puncture, proper noun, verb. So they can do this kind of annotation. In this example, I asked them to do dependency analysis on the data and save the result in CONLL format. At first, they try to do that by running a program, but it failed to do that. So so I give only one paragraph and ask them to do it again, but it still failed to do that. At the end, they give me the program to run in my computer, so I copy this program and run this program on my data, and then I got this result. This the result of the analysis in ConLL format. For this task, I asked them to do name entity recognition. The task is to look at any text and identify whether there is any name entity that is person name, organization name, or place place name, location name, and I asked them to use this free text to mark on the data. So this is the result. So they look at the text and mark name entity for organization here, for organization, for person here, and for location is here. So they can do this kind of things. Actually, if we notice what they have done, sometimes they done this task by writing a program, and this program has some kind of library that they can process natural language. So they write a program to do that. But for some tasks, like in this one, they don't give us any program. They just look at the data and mark the data by itself by using what I call is linguistic competence. And it's like they understand this text and they know where is the name, and they mark it. Like when we ask a person to do that, they use their own linguistic competence and they mark those name entity by themselves. This another task I asked them to do anaphora resolution. So I asked them to find anaphor and antecedent in the text and save the result in 3 columns. The sentence containing the anaphor, and the antecedent. And this is the text that I give to ChatGPT, and this the result. We can download the result. And this the result that we can download. We can also ask them to annotate on the text. Like in this one, I asked them to use this tag ANA for anaphor and ANT for antecedent, so they can mark anaphor and antecedent. Or we can change the annotation. Like in this one, I asked them to use reference ID number. So I asked them to mark anaphor and refer to ID, what ID, and for antecedent, they should have ID number mark on that antecedent. So in this example, Boeing is ID number 1, Wings Club ID number 2, and is here refer to reference 1 here, Boeing's, and there here refer to a place here, Wings Club. So we can see that with this kind of capability, we can have ChatGPT or generative AI like a research assistant that we can ask our research assistant to do tagging for us, and then we can look at the result, and when we can make a correction or make adjustment by ourselves. And from this task, we can see that they can perform in 2 modes. The first mode that they can write a program and they can use a library that can process natural language, and they can use that library to do annotation, or they can use its own linguistic competence to mark up data like a normal person do that. Okay, the next topic I will talk about the difference between AI generate and human generate corpus. This from the previous slide that we talked about. When we want to create a corpus, we extract data from a journal in XML and then we convert it into plain text. So right now we have a corpus that is written by human. Is a clean abstract. Now, I asked ChatGPT. I upload this abstract written by human and ask ChatGPT to extract only the title and then generate an abstract for each title and then save it as a new file. And but the result is not okay because they can extract the title from each abstract, but the abstract written in this way is quite formulaic because they generate this abstract by using a program. When they generate by using a program, that program is very formulaic. So we can see that is a pattern. It's the same pattern. It just change the number and the content of the stack is the same. It discuss various relevant things. Is the same sentence. So we cannot upload the paper and ask them to write a new abstract that way because they will switch into a programming mode and write abstract in that way. So I have to copy title by one and ask ChatGPT generate abstract for this title. So they use its own competence and generate an abstract. So I have to do this for all the title and save this abstract. At the end, so I have two corpora. One is written by human, the clean abstract, and one written by ChatGPT, the GPT abstract. And this, I use Lancaster toolbox to see the distribution. It look the same because the pattern of distribution is not different. We can see that most of the term are function words. Then I use this program is called one multidimensional analysis tractor. It's the same program that do the same analysis as Bible did for doing genre analysis. So this program will analyze the text and it will give us a list of linguistic features, and from that linguistic feature, it do dimensional analysis based on Bible's framework. As the result, we will get that for each abstract. The calculate number for each dimension, because by using Bible analysis, the text will be transformed into 6 dimensions, dimension 1 to dimension 6, and we can determine whether what song this text belong. Like this one, it belong to narrative exposition, and the second one, the third one belong to learn exposition. So we got this data from using this program. We did the same for the two corpora, and then we upload the result, the dimension analysis of the GPT corpus and the clean corpus, and just ask them, just tell them that these are the result of the dimensional analysis of the two corpora. Please analyze this. So they look at the data and they can see what are the difference between these two corpora and explain the difference to us. Then I asked them to do visual exploration for me. So they create a distribution graph, and from this distribution graph, we can see that two corpora is not quite the same. And this what ChatGPT explained to us. They can see that dimension 1 and 2, the clean abstract show a wider range and more variability. For dimension 3, GPT generated is more skewed. And for dimension 4, the clean abstract, more variability spreading more into negative and positive. In dimension 5, generative text relatively concentrated allow a particular range. Dimension 6, clean abstract show a larger spread towards higher value. So at the end, they made a conclusion that GPT generated exhibit more consistency and narrow focus, while clean abstract show broader variability. I also upload another file because when we use that program, they will give us two results. One is the dimension analysis, and another is a list of linguistic feature analyzed for each text. So I upload the linguistic feature from each corpus, and I ask them, I want to know whether these two corpora are from the same population or not. So they give a suggestion that to see whether they are from the same population or not, we can use t-test or manual. First, they use t-test, and this the result when running the t-test, and they give us the idea how to interpret the result. We have to look at the p-value, whether they are statistical significantly or not. So we have to look at 64 feature here. So I asked them how many features are different, significantly different, and what should be the conclusion. So they make the conclusion that from 69, 25 of them are different. So the two koala are not from the same population. So this is not surprise because when we talk about the text written by AI, it's like a text written by one person. So the style, even the content is vary, but the language style would be the same. So when we ask them ChatGPT to plot, we can see the distribution here. This one is not clear, so I asked them to make different color so we can see that GPT generate is quite concentrated here. So it's the same conclusion that they are not from the same population. When we ask them to do cluster analysis, we can see as well that they are different. Okay, for effect on the future, we can see that right now, because AI can help us write anything very effectively. So how many of contents right now on the web is generated by AI? And this website, they try to answer this question by looking at the top 20 Google search results and see whether they are generated by AI or not. And we can see the tendency here, like right now is 14%, is increasing, and it's going to be more and more AI generated. And in this paper, they also found that there are a lot of content on the web that are similar content, actually they are the same content, but they are created by translate from one language to another language. So they can see that 37 of the data are uh, parallel text. That means it is translated from another language. But if we look at only the sentence that they collect, more than half of the data on the web is generated by MT. And in this paper, they show this problem because they were afraid that by using bad translation, this could affect the performance of the LLM. But right now, I think AI translation is getting better. Right, from this one, I can do a translation from Thai into English without making any correction. The question is how, if in the future when we see a text on the internet, how do we know whether it is written by human or is generated by AI? This paper try to answer this question, and the answer is right here. We can differentiate between text generated by written by human and generated by AI correctly only 39%. And can we use some kind of tool to detect AI generate corpus, generate text? The finding from this experiment from OpenAI itself, the answer is no. And we can see that even there are many tools to claim that they can detect text generated by AI, but we can see that they can make false positive and cause many problems when they identify that this text is generated by AI, but actually it is not. And for people who use AI, they also have some kind of tool or some means that they can make the text to avoid detection too. Okay, the problem of using text from AI, we can see that if we use text from AI, it's like we are using text written by one person in one style. So we will, in the future, if we collect a corpus like this, it will not have language variation enough that we can look at the phenomenon and language. But actually, when we ask AI to write anything, we can train them to write in different style too. Like in this example, I create GPT to write in my own style. So I asked them that I want to create a GPT that can write English or Thai using my writing style. I upload the data, my paper, my books, and after they consult those writing, they can write in my style. So this the text written in my style, and this the same text written by default GPT style. But it still depends. By doing this, we can hope that text generated by AI can have more variation. But I don't think that many people will do this kind of thing. They just use AI to create anything and use that result. And to create a custom GPT, we can create a research assistant. Like in this example, I want to create a research assistant to help me read, summarize, search, and look for insight from upload books and articles. And so, okay, and then I upload papers about 20 or 30 paper on semantic prosody. And after I upload this paper, I can ask them to focus on this paper and answer my question based on this paper. This would help eliminate, not exactly eliminate, but reduce the problem of hallucination, because right now they try to answer anything based on this paper. So I asked them, I want the list of words which confirm positive or negative prosody from previous study. So they look at the paper and found these 6 papers that can give the answer. And these are the answer. And then I asked, I want citation for each word too, because I want to go to each paper to check by myself, so they can provide the reference. So with this kind of tool, we can do any research, whether in corpus linguistics or in other field of linguistics. It's a kind like Google Notebook LM that we can upload a paper and then we can take a note on this paper. We can ask anything about this paper, and they can even create a podcast for us. And in GPT, we can look for custom GPT created by other people or by other companies. We can search for GPT that is tailor-made to do the task that we want. Like in this one, I found comprehensive corpus linguistic expert is created by CCLE, supposed to be corpus expert in this field. And we can ask anything in this field. I think they upload many papers on corpus linguistics, so we can ask them. I also create my custom GPT Thai word expert to help me check when I want to answer any question about Thai word, whether spelling is correct or not, whether the classifier, what should be the classifier of this word, by upload database into the ChatGPT and ask them to check this database when I ask anything. And I also create a Thai poet by tell them how to write a poem for different kinds of poem in Thai, and provide them some example and ask them to write a Thai poem here. Okay, and I think that would be all for my presentation here.
Thank you very much, Prof. Wirote. That was very, very interesting. And yeah, it actually opens our eyes towards the use of ChatGPT in a way. You know, the pros and cons, and how you mentioned this is really crucial on the notion of authenticity and in data collection for corpus linguistic studies, and that you have tried executing the various functions of a corpus tool into ChatGPT, but and you transferred those instructions, Python instructions, onto another platform, right? Is that right? All right. And you being someone in computer engineering, I'm sure it all makes sense to you. Okay, so now we welcome some questions or observation. Yeah, anyone out there? Let me see if there's any chats. Yeah, if there's any questions in the chat. Yeah, Bilal Hassan, go ahead.
Yeah, yes. My name is Bilal Hassan and I am from Pakistan. Definitely and obviously this lecture is thought-provoking, and dear professor has offered wonderful insights, and we have enjoyed the lecture. But I have many questions, but I would like to present to the most important questions. So one question is related to Python language, that in order to operate analyses with the help of ChatGPT, should we have to learn Python language or basics of Python language? And my second question is related to transitivity analysis under systemic functional linguistics. So when we perform transitivity analysis by utilizing UAM corpus tool, we have to regulate the whole text. First of all, we have to generate the whole scheme and then we annotate the whole text. But still, there is a possibility of some errors. Just because the transitivity analysis is a complicated phenomena in systemic functional linguistics. So what we have to do with the help of ChatGPT if we want to annotate the whole text, with the help of ChatGPT, whether how can we create? Hello?
Okay.
All right,
Am I
is that the
audible?
question? Okay, go. Yeah.
Okay.
How can we create scheme on the ChatGPT in order to annotate transitivity analysis?
Okay. In this talk, I only gave them a basic annotation task. So I asked them to do it by itself. But for any advanced annotation task, I think the better way to do is to give them some example of analysis. So you do the analysis to show them that what kind of analysis that you want it to be, and see whether they can understand that and do the same thing. We can do this either by uploading a sample of analysis and then provide the new text and ask them to do the analysis. Like you said, transitivity is a kind of more advanced analysis, and we can see whether they can understand and do that or not. If they can do that task for us, I think it would be a better way to help us to create more data, because they can do it quite fast. So we only check the data annotated by ChatGPT or by any AI.
Right. Thank you, Dr.
Okay,
Wirote.
sir. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Is it reliable to perform transitivity analysis with the help of ChatGPT? Because I have an example here. They need to ride a bicycle. So this clause can be annotated differently. On the first hand, we can visualize it as it is a mental process type because we have a verb need. And on the second hand, if we want to apply the criteria provided by systemic functional linguists, that we should have to focus the other side of the verb. Okay, so need to write at the other side of the verb. So it is a material process. So is it reliable in this complexity to generate useful results with the help of ChatGPT?
I cannot tell whether it is reliable or it can do that or not, because I haven't tried it yet. But I suggest that you can try it yourself, because it's not difficult to try it. Just give them some example and test them whether they actually understand this concept of analysis or not. If they don't understand, so they cannot do that.
Yes.
Thank you so
So
much.
with Bilal, with transitivity framework, it is tedious and it is very complicated. But I think when you test what Dr. Wirote is saying, you keep troubleshooting the device or the ChatGPT with smaller chunks, and then check it with your other raters, and then gradually build and train. As we know, ChatGPT, it can be trained. So test it out first, but I wouldn't say anything yet about, for example, whether how reliable or whatever it is, unless you have done some rater reliability, you have some coders who can check it with you. It is, I think, it's not an overnight thing. It's probably, it probably will take time, right, Dr. Wirote?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Bilal. Abdullah, I see Abdullah's hand.
Yes. I just wanted to ask Doctor about if I'm right or wrong. I want to say a statement about the AI. So AI is generated by humans. So we cannot depend on AI all the time to analyze, because we have a pragmatical side which can be dependent on different language varieties, different other languages that's endangered, or some we can say literature which is archived manually, not on the internet. It's not available on the internet. Those like rich data which is in the library written on a paper. So what I'm saying is, do we always depend on ChatGPT or not? Like, we can depend on it to save time or stuff like that. So do you think that we can always depend on ChatGPT, or we have to do our own research outside of this like subject of this box?
Actually, not ChatGPT doesn't know everything. They know only what they have read or what they have learned. So there are a lot of materials that is not digitized, or for some language they don't have enough data to learn. Like in Thai, I think 1 or 2 years ago, the result of using ChatGPT is not good for Thai, so we cannot rely on ChatGPT. But right now, ChatGPT or other AI like Claude, they learn Thai data. They learn more Thai data, and right now, the result when they write Thai language is fine, is good enough. So we can use that kind of data with minor modification.
Okay, thank
Yes.
you.
If you let me, I have another question, Dr. Afidat. Sorry.
Go ahead.
And you told us that about generating Python codes. As we know, ChatGPT has a limitations. For example, cannot write you 1,000 line of codes. In this situation, do we depend on ChatGPT from computer science side, or we always have to ask a human to help us to create a code or generate a code that we need to analyze some linguistic functions or in other fields?
Yeah, I think the first person asked me about Python code, whether we should learn it or not. Right now, AI, they use Python code a lot, and when they generate code, they prefer to generate code in Python, because in Python there are many libraries that we can use for language processing right now. So if we know a basic of Python, it would help when we got the result from ChatGPT or from Claude, and when we run the program, we can see the error, and we can talk to AI, ChatGPT to make the correction. It would be better if we know a basic of Python, but even right now, for a programmer right now, I don't think they write all the program by themselves. They also use generative AI to help them write a program, because it is faster. It's just like when we ask them to write and in English for us, and then we just make a correction. It's faster than when we write it by ourselves.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Wirote and Abdullah. Next is Abdul Hakim. Abdul Hakim, did you raise your hand? All right. Okay, so but we do have a question in the chat here. What is your opinion about ChatGPT generated data as it is created data? How do you ensure that the authenticity and validity of the data, since that is the number one of the elements in corpus compilation in corpus linguistics, and as you've shown us, the web is increasingly producing ChatGPT outputs. Yeah. So how do we ensure authenticity when it comes to corpus linguistics?
That would be the big question for corpus linguistics, as I said, because when we create a corpus, we usually want to collect a data written by human and data that is authentic. We don't want to include any AI generate in our corpus. Or if we collect AI generate corpus, we might want to split it into another corpora. Like when we collect translation text, we don't want to include it in the text written by native. But the problem will be more difficult to identify whether this text is written by human or AI in the future, because right now the performance is quite good, and even some company try to sell their tools that they can detect AI generate tool. It works for some texts, but for some people, when they know that there are some kind of this tool, they can make a little adjustment from AI generate text to be avoid detect.
That's right. That's right. So, we have seen how Dr. Wirote has given us some sneak peeks. Actually, this is, I suppose, your way of testing out all the possible functions of that we see in a corpus tool via ChatGPT, and it is and based on all that, we can actually try it out and see if it's working nicely, like Dr. Wirote has shown, and at the same time using a valid corpus tool that are available out there, and yeah, provide some reflections and some good observations from there, because it is about exploring this new technology. So if there is some, I suppose we have come to the end of the session, and yes, Abdul Hakim, do you have a question?
Yeah, sorry, doctor.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Please, I want to ask, is it possible for me to develop a specialized corpus using ChatGPT? That's my question. Like collect instead, let's say, for example, I want to create a specialized corpus of historical records. Instead of going on Google searching for the materials, can I use ChatGPT to compile the resources and develop such a specialized corpus?
You mean that you want to use ChatGPT to create some kind of data for you, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. If you ask ChatGPT to do that, they will certainly can do that. But the question is whether are we accepting this data to be usable in our research or not? For linguistic point of view, I'm not sure that most of the people will accept this. There are some people, they in the case that they cannot find authentic data, what they did, they use ChatGPT or AI to generate data, but at the end they have to verify whether this data is acceptable or not first,
That's right.
before they are going to use it. So
Okay.
they have to go to the native speaker or something, whether this kind of text is okay or not.
Okay.
Is that all right, Sir Abdul Hakim?
Ma, thank you.
All right, thank you very much. And I
Yeah.
think that's yeah, that's all the time that we have today. And so in a way, in summary, what Dr. Wirote has shared with us is the potential and the challenges of using AI, of ChatGPT, in generating language data, yeah, the setbacks to it, the biasness that it can bring, the fact that it can be devoid of context, you know, and of course the ethical issues remains crucial. So Dr. Wirote has shared with us how technology can be used effectively, but there must be we must strike a balance between this convenience of AI and our linguistic research ability, yeah, and in maintaining the integrity of language research, because language exists in society, not in ChatGPT, but there is room for exploration. So on behalf of everyone here, I'd like to extend a heartfelt thank you to Dr. Wirote, yeah, for sharing his expertise in a much thought-provoking topic. And it is it will continue as a thought-provoking topic because it's going to be endless. And we appreciate your time, Dr. Wirote, your knowledge, and the engaging discussion that you have inspired us today. Thank you so much. And let's have a picture taken, if Dr. Anis, if you don't mind.
Okay, can we have everyone to turn on their camera?
Yeah, everyone, just share us your faces, if you don't mind. Ah, I see one of my friends there from Thailand. Where is she? Where was she? I love your hand. Where was she? She's from Lancaster too. Can't see her. Where did she go? Where is she? Please switch on your camera. Yeah, Raksa. Raksa.
Nope.
Nice to see you, Raksa. Okay. Hi. All right, everyone.
All right, can we take the group photo now? You smile for the camera. 3, 2, 1.
Cheese.
Oh,
And another page, right?
another page. There's no more page. Okay, one more time. 3, 2, 1. Smile.
Okay.
All right, thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone, and to all MCRN network members. We'll see you next time. Bye. And Dr. Wirote, nice to know you, and to future collaborations. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, and have a nice weekend, everyone. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.